on just 50 minutes program. So I welcome here Rajiv sir. He's a very renowned faculty, very great professional, a startup coach, entrepreneur, CEO Bajaj Corporate Chambers. Thank you so much, sir. Please take your session.
Thank you, Sudesh. First of all, I must compliment you for this initiative on you know doing your webinars on regular basis. So, since you called me and you said that this is the first such program and very relevant topic you chose on startup. So, I being a person who's these days working in startup space,
Yes, sir.
I thought it is the most apt occasion for me to join all of you and talk about the startup culture which is getting built up. And
Yes, sir.
every initiative is a startup. No?
Yes.
Even this is a startup which you are starting. No? And
Thanks, sir.
we all being a compliance professional and uh, who else can be better than all of us who are
Yes,
coming
sir.
from the company secretary's background or a legal background to guide and motivate the startups and give them a complete solution because when these startups are uh, looking for help, I think we are the most qualified people to help the startups because it involves right from their ideation stage to uh, helping them in formation of the company or LLP or whatever they are thinking, and give them some kind of a direction how to conduct the business and how to move forward, and also how to be successful in the startup space. So, a very good initiative by you, and I think we have around 40 minutes, you said,
Yes, sir.
to
Thank you, sir.
talk about this subject. So, let me take you through quickly my presentation, and then we can in between, if you feel you have any questions or any uh, points to be discussed, you can
Yes, sir.
ask for the relevant questions, and definitely I'll be too happy to cover that. So
Yes, sir.
when the startup culture in India, as you know, is evolving, right? We, if you look at the numbers from January 2016 to December 20, uh, there are almost 41,317 startups which are recognized by DPIIT, which is the department which controls the startup space, and there is an investment of 4,509 crores, which is made in just 384 startups through the fund of funds scheme of Government of India, and they have reported a job creation of 4.7 lakhs people, so which is quite a big number. So startup culture, when Mr. Modi took charge in January 2016, they declared that okay, they'll start this Startup India initiative, and that is how he said, never dream of becoming something. If you dream of doing something. So which is very relevant, and that is how the startup culture is now spreading. It is almost present in 590 plus districts of India. 44% of the startups have one woman director. Now, this also thanks to the Companies Act and thanks to the environment we have. There is a lot of scope for the professional lady company secretaries to get into this role of a woman director, and there are almost 30 states and union territories in which all this initiative is uh, being expanded. So I think if you look at the whole space of startup, things are moving in a very great fashion, and it is turning out to be a very big support system for all these startups who are trying uh, to basically evolve, and this culture is picking up very fast. So, as I said, we company secretaries have a lot of big role to play in the startup space, and we are the ones who can actually guide the startup mentors and startup entrepreneurs, both for expanding their horizon in the country, and of course the initiative has generated lot of employment opportunity. It has generated lot of investment opportunities also. Uh, it has given fillip to the people who are actually trying to expand their horizon in the startup space, and also it is a kind of a support for everyone who is trying to work in the startup as a startup you know entrepreneur or a startup person who is setting up a startup. So I think it's better to keep the whole thing interactive. So let me ask you a question. Uh, any of you, what do you expect when you say you are having a startup? So what is the first thing which comes to your mind? You can maybe unmute yourself and speak, or you can put it in the chat window, whatever way you are comfortable. What is the first thing which comes to your mind when you say you are uh, you want to have a startup, or what is a startup?
When general public facing any problem and he converts his idea to that idea to in a solution to
Mhm.
making it to all public. So a startup is a platform where an entrepreneur comes with an idea to convert his idea into a solution, so it can help to general public and at large.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's interesting. What else? Anybody else? Anybody else have any thoughts about the startup? So, the as Sudesh very clearly mentioned, it is all about the idea and a solution, or problem and a solution, right? Now, when we are offering something to the individuals, there has to be some kind of a idea. No, there has to be some kind of a problem which the public is facing. Now, that problem definitely needs to be handled, and you are kind of giving a solution to the mm, to the public, right? Now, this is where I think we all uh, have to focus on. uh, there has to be a solution which you are looking at, right? Because look at Oyo, for an example, right? Oyo was germinated out of a problem that people were not getting hotel space in the maybe uh, mm, what they wanted in the uh, areas where they actually uh, mm, wanted to expand For example, somebody is traveling from one city to the other city. You go to a new place. You don't know which hotel is better, what kind of standardization is available. So there was a problem, and he came out with a solution that, okay, he made a standardization of hotels. He brought them online, so at the click of a button you can book a hotel space, and that is how you
Yes.
can move forward. So like this, you must identify what is the problem and how effectively the solution can be given. I think we all know the startup culture, and we all know that how startups are evolving in India. So I think uh, when you, as a professional, you are guiding a startup, you must kind of support them by uh, giving their idea or making their idea a proper reality, right? Now look at these numbers, very interesting how the startup registered startup have increased in India. In 2016 this number was only 504. In 2017 another 5400 were added. 2018 we had 8,900 more added. We had 11,000 startups added in 2019, and 1.5 lakh jobs were created. And interestingly, in the lockdown period also, 2020, we had 14,000 plus startups. Now, and they generated 1.7 lakhs jobs. So many startups mushroomed, which were based on the e-commerce. And if you look at this graph, the green shows that there are more than one, startup in a particular uh, area or a district. So this shows that we are all well spread. The recognized startups are spread all across India, and they are growing, and they are moving fast. So I think the journey of a startup and a startup entrepreneur has to be understood, and we must understand how the startup culture is evolving in India. uh, but when you actually are talking to the young entrepreneurs, and I keep discussing with the lot of people who have entrepreneurial ideas, and they are trying to set up a new startup of their own. They are not very clear about what is their vision and what is their mission. So I think that is where I professional comes in. You must guide the those startup entrepreneurs, and some of them are very young. Some of them are just grads who have come out of the maybe have done MBA, or they are IITians, or people who have gone abroad for studies and come back to India to start something of their own. um, so it's a different class. And as a professional, we should actually try to look at what are their ideas, what are they looking at, and then give a proper vision and mission to them. Because unless a startup is very clear about what is they want to do, what is it that they want to achieve, and what is it that they want to uh, actually deliver to the people as a solution, you will not get that kind of solution from them. So I think as an entrepreneur, or as a mentor, or as a coach to the startups, please you focus on guiding them on their vision and mission. And how many of you know about pitch deck? How many of you know what is pitch deck?
Pitch deck is about a video in which we tell what is the product, how it works, and what are the services, how it works, and all the things about that startup product.
Yeah. Pitch deck may be a video, or it can be a
PDF.
maybe PPT, which is
Yes.
kind of a 15 pager slide, which can
Yes.
be converted into a video also. Uh, but the whole idea of pitch deck is because when you are, when you go to the market, people don't know you, right? And every startup needs the funding, right? So
Yes.
in funding also there are various stages. There are angel investors, there are seed funding stages, and you know the uh, bootstrapped funds are also there. Uh, mm, so that when you are actually uh, mm, uh, kind of uh, helping a startup, so you must actually help them with the pitch deck also. uh, and through this pitch deck they can convey to the probable investors, or the people who are going to invest in the startup, as to what is your basic idea, what is the problem statement you are handling, what kind of solution you are offering, is it sustainable or not, the market is looking for such solution with a lot of acceptance or not, whether that thing will work with the people who will be actually utilizing your services. You have repeat customers or not. If you are looking, if you are suppose a marketplace, and you have membership, or you have people coming to your website or something, then what is the probability of a repeat customers coming into you? And also, what is your kind of uh, return which you can offer to the investors? What is the kind of uh, you know uh, kind of growth or valuation you can offer to the investors in terms of uh, you know mm, uh, for example, can you offer kind of a 2x returns to them over a period of time? What is the exit route for the investors? All these things are covered in the pitch deck. So when we are guiding the startup investors, I think we should guide them on the pitch deck also. And we must kind of uh, you know uh, take them to the next level, and also show them how the the growth can be achieved uh, through the pitch deck, and how they can present themselves to the probable investors. So now let us look at the top 10 sectors in the startup matrix. Uh, if you look at the uh, just I'll make it a slideshow. Now, if you look at the top 10 sectors, IT services, definitely. Then healthcare and life sciences. This is something which is evolving over a period of time. You have education, edtech startups are also very much in demand. Professional and commercial services startups are also there. Food and beverages, agriculture. Agriculture, let me tell you, there is a huge thrust of in agriculture space, and a lot of startups are coming, and government also, and Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development also is uh, very much gung ho about bringing more and more startups in this space. Finance technology, you see a lot of insurance based startups and other startups. Technology hardware, you see a lot of construction startups, green technology. This is also something very much in. So, if you look at the process, I just try to bring it here. Of course, the idea has to be there. There has to be some brain or intelligent person behind that idea. You set up your targets, you do your research, process is made, and how you plan your startup, and definitely with the planned activity, you have to bring in investment. Either it is a bootstrapped investment, or you invite some people to invest in your company. And of course, the whole idea is to achieve success and move forward. So, you know, let's look at the startup readiness level. I think someone wanted to have some kind of example about it. You know, this is basically not about a shiny pitch deck. You must have a proper 5-year business plan. It has to be evidence based, measurable, and progression towards a viable startup with a clear, milestones. Uh, all startups don't follow the same predictable route, so you must judge from the activities of the startup whether they are having that kind of potential or not. Then investments is super important, because without money nothing runs. So you must look at the investment part. uh, the startup readiness level as a guide, of course, entrepreneurship has to be um, judged by the progress, which you make. So, how this readiness level can be judged? I just thought, let me share few pointers with you. Uh, First, define your idea very well. So be very clear. Understand the problem. We already discussed this part, that okay, problem has to be there, and you must understand what problem, and then explore the potential solutions. Of course, validate the product and solution. Now, this is very important. Um, Unless you validate your product and solution, uh, you talk to at least 10 people around you. You talk to your friends, relatives, people who are actually guiding you, or you become mentor to startups. So you can help them doing this exercise. So suppose they come to you at ideation stage, you be a guide or mentor to them. Discuss their idea thoroughly, critically with them. Find loopholes in their idea, and then look at the product and a solution. Build and validate. No, this is also very important, because after uh, uh, the whole concept is ready, you must validate that, and reach out to people who may be actually your potential customer, or people who may be uh, kind of looking into your whole idea. The validate product from, and whether it is a market fit or not. Now, this is again, your product should be such that people want to use that repeatedly. No, it's not that they use it once and then they don't want to use your product again. So this is where I think you have to come in, and you have to make sure that people don't want, or they hate not using your product, so they love your product. And you must validate the revenue model. uh, that is also very, very critical and important, because at the end of the day, it is all about revenue. If you don't have a revenue model, you cannot be successful. uh, Value, uh, validate the value delivery. Again, if you have a product but you are not able to deliver that product, or you are not able to offer it to the customer in a very effective way, then also doesn't make sense, right? So you must validate the value delivery. And if you are guiding a startup as a mentor, you must look into this aspect and very critically examine it and then guide them. Validate the growth. Now, if you are not growing, suppose you set up a startup, but okay, you are uh, able to service only 5 people, 6 people, or suppose you are setting up a chain of something, and uh, expandability is not there. So after setting up 2 units or 3 units, you cannot expand further. So that kind of um, startup will definitely face challenges in getting investments, in getting traction from the people who are looking to put in their money. See, concept is also important, but then that whether that growth uh, uh, in that startup is going to be there regularly, that is also very, very important. And you must validate the growth and do the unicorn. As you know that you must kind of uh, have a unique idea and become so big that you become a unicorn. So, how many of you heard about this minimum viable product concept? Anyone? What is minimum viable product?
Yes,
I,
sir.
yeah, are you clear? Minimum viable product. Do you know that, Sudhi?
Not confirm, but something that is something different and has a less cost than its competitors and very useful to the large at public at large.
Yeah. So minimum
Like a
viable.
sample product, sir.
Yeah, minimum viable product is your idea itself is you know uh, is validated. Suppose we took an example of Oyo, right? Or for example
Yes.
Ola. Now, unless Ola has a kind of product which is useful uh, and which is tested, uh, so nobody would have thought that this will work, right? Uh, mm, Nobody would have thought that the kind of value they created out of just a space where there was a problem statement. Problem was that if I want a taxi for myself, if there was no organized player, and I would hunt for a maybe a local vendor who's next to my house or something, and still I'm not sure whether that fellow will arrive on time or not, right? So they created a kind of a product which is liked by the customer. They were repeated customers. They created a service model where they maintained the quality. I'm so sure that if one driver is refusing, the other one will come, right? So I am very much confident about the viability of the model which I am using. So minimum viable product is when the raw product that is not the need of the consumer. Yes, enough features to attract the uh, more and more. Uh, so I think it's giving us a 5 minute message. Huh? All right. So we must rush it out. So it's the most viable product that you think should be built, right? So steps to evaluate your idea. Of course, stay objective. You must be very clear. Use the lean canvas to identify your assumptions. Uh, for example, whatever idea you have, you must have a canvas to here I took example of Lexo, which is um, legal marketplace. So the problem was that startups don't get proper legal help or lawyers. So solution was created, and online marketplace they created for the getting legal help. Identify your assumptions and spend some time to reach out to people. and create a canvas where what are your problem statements you write, and give us solutions to the people. Test your assumptions around the problem, customers, and existing solutions, so that your product viability is considered. And product viability is all about uh, and keep learning about your customers all the time. So at the end of the whole chain, it is the customer, right? So whether your product is being repeatedly used by the customer, you have something where you are creating a marketplace where people are going to use your this thing, uh, big basket, for an example. People wanted
Yes.
groceries, so they created a solution. There is another very interesting startup called Milk Basket. They identified a problem statement that people have to get up early just to go and fetch milk, right? So their business model is, okay, the milk is delivered at your doorstep. When 5 a.m. Their person will come, they work whole night. Last order they take is till 12 o'clock in the night. 5 a.m. The whatever you want is delivered. They started with milk. Now they added everything. So they added groceries, they added so scalability is there in the model, right? Breads, everything. And they are not supplying to everyone. They targeted certain set of societies where they deliver. No, so their customer is also very targeted. So you are very clear as to how. And now they got I think Tatas have invested in them and things like that. So Government of India has fund of fund schemes, where a lot of funds are available with the government to help startups. A lot of grants are available. If you want to guide your people who are coming to you for startup, feel free to connect with me. I'll be happy to help. Uh, in India now, we have already got unicorn clubs, where 2020 list you can see, Cars 24, Unacademy, Pine Labs, and 2021 also see Digit Insurance, Urban Company, Jetta, Bharat Pay. So all these are examples of unicorns. So we have a good future on startup space. There's a huge opportunity for we professionals. So do focus on startup space and start working in this area. I'm sure you all will gain a very good professional happiness. And it is a happiness of giving back to the society also, because you are actually helping in generating employment. You are actually helping in entrepreneurship. You are helping people in earning money. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. So that's what I wanted to say. Sudesh, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the information on startups so deeply. And we highly thank you for the taking this session on very short note again. And keep sharing your